Hi, I'm Steve from the Hidden Door Store. If you're considering the purchase of a mirror secret door like the one behind me, one of the first choices you're gonna have to make is, do I want a thresholded version or a thresholdless version? And I'm gonna explain to you today the differences between those and the pros and cons of each. So the mirror behind me is thresholded, which is our recommendation for most people. Now by thresholded, it means that you have to step over that threshold right there. So when I go into the secret door, I have to do this. A lot of people are concerned that this is going to be a tripping hazard, although I found that most people, after they use one of these, they realize it's not that big of a deal to step over that, and that the threshold height is comparable to what the lowest tread of a staircase is, and you typically lift your feet up to that height all the time, and it's not usually a problem. But it does have some drawbacks. But first, the pros. The major pro to having a threshold, and the reason that we recommend it, is because the camouflage is superior. Remember, we're trying to imitate the look that you would have if you bought an ordinary full-length mirror and you hung it on the wall. Well, if you did that, you probably would not hang your mirror so that the underside of your mirror's frame is tight up against the floor. If you have a baseboard, as most people do, you would probably hang it about like this, where the underside of the mirror is a couple inches above your baseboard. And that way your baseboard can stay fixed, this little bit of wall underneath the mirror stays fixed, and the mirror can open. So the camouflage is really quite good when you have a threshold. But if for whatever reason you do not want to have a threshold, you really just want a lot of ease of use, and maybe you're in a wheelchair, or you're going to be rolling carts through there, or for whatever reason, you might not want to have a threshold. And you can do that. For a small fee, we'll make you a version that the baseboard opens with the door. But in order to do that, as you can imagine, there has to be a split here in the baseboard and another one here on the other side. And those splits are impossible to fully camouflage. So having a thresholdless version detracts from the camouflage. The other thing is, you definitely are going to want to mount this a little bit lower so that the underside of this touches the baseboard, or if you don't have a baseboard, but the underside of this almost touches the floor, because otherwise you would see very unsightly lines right here. And the baseboard itself, if it moves with the door, that means it has to be spaced up off the floor slightly. And the baseboard that's to the right or to the left of the secret door is usually going to be tight down against the floor. And so you're going to see this little crack of darkness underneath the baseboard that is at the secret door. And so that slightly detracts from the camouflage. So if your priority is camouflage, you're definitely going to want a threshold. But if your priority is ease of use, then it might be in your best interest to consider a thresholdless version.